It's 6:47 on a Tuesday evening. Someone at the table just raised their voice at you, and your mouth doesn't open. Your jaw tightens instead. For one strange second, something in your chest goes still. But psychology tells a completely different story than the one you've been told about that moment. There's a specific reason some people go silent under pressure, and it isn't fear. It's the last lever they never let go of. Trait 1. Silence is the one variable you can still control when everything else escalates. When a conversation turns into a fight, most of what happens is outside your hands, their volume, their words, the speed of it all. Your voice is the one thing that's still entirely yours to give or withhold. And the strange part isn't that you go quiet. It's what your brain is actually doing while you do it. Psychologists call this an internal locus of control response. When external control disappears, the nervous system searches for something, anything, it can still decide. Silence becomes that something. It doesn't feel like a decision in the moment. It feels automatic, almost reflexive. But underneath that automatic reaction is a system that has learned, over years, exactly which lever still works when every other one has been taken out of your hands. Picture a meeting where your idea gets talked over twice, by someone louder than you. You don't interrupt back. You just stop offering anything else into the room, and you watch the conversation slowly run out of the fuel you were quietly supplying it. Nobody in that room clocks what just happened, but you do. You just took back the one thing that was still yours to give. You're not shutting down. You're choosing the only variable left on the table. Trait 2. Every word you don't say is a piece of leverage you keep. Think about the last time you stayed quiet in the middle of an argument. The other person kept talking, kept revealing more of what they actually meant. Here's what nobody tells you about that. Silence doesn't just protect you, it exposes them. In negotiation psychology, this is called information asymmetry. Whoever speaks less usually learns more, because the other person keeps filling the space to feel resolved. Think about a text conversation that goes unanswered for a few hours. The other person sends one more message, then another, each one giving away a little more of what they actually meant by the first one. You read every one of them. You still haven't typed a single word back, and somehow you understand the situation better than they do. You were never just waiting it out. You were listening for what they'd give away. If this sounds familiar, hit subscribe. There are more traits like this ahead, and the last one changes how you see all of them. Trait 3. Silence lets you exit a fight without ever leaving the room. You don't storm out, you don't raise your own voice back, you just stop feeding it. And here's the part that surprises people. This isn't avoidance. It's called strategic disengagement, one of the few de-escalation tools that doesn't cost you your dignity. Fighting back would hand them a mirror, proof that they got to you. Staying present but silent denies them exactly that. Most conflict runs on a kind of rhythm: provocation, reaction, escalation, repeat. The moment you stop supplying the reaction half of that rhythm, the whole pattern has nowhere left to go. It doesn't matter how loud the other half gets. A fight needs two people feeding it to survive. Picture a family dinner where someone brings up the same old accusation, expecting the usual fight. You just keep eating. You answer with one calm sentence, or nothing at all, and you watch them run out of a script that only works if you play your part in it. They came ready for a fight. You simply never showed up to have one. That's not surrender. That's a fire finding nothing left to burn. Trait 4. The pause before you speak is doing more work than the words ever could. Your brain needs close to 90 seconds for the first surge of anger or hurt to move through your body before you can respond with any real precision. Here's the part that changes everything. Your silence isn't empty. It's your prefrontal cortex quietly catching up to your emotions, turning a flood of reaction into something you can actually stand behind. Someone sends a message that stings, and your first draft of a reply is sharp enough to end the conversation for good. You don't send it. You put the phone down, make coffee, and come back to it 20 minutes later with something that sounds nothing like the version you almost sent. That 20 minutes wasn't hesitation. It was the only version of you worth listening to, finally catching up. Speak too soon, and you say the version of yourself that panic wrote. Wait, and you say the version that's actually true. That gap isn't weakness, it's editing. Trait 5. You likely learned this skill long before you had a name for it. Somewhere back in your childhood, speaking up during conflict cost you something: an escalation, a punishment, a parent who couldn't handle being questioned. And the strange part isn't that you adapted. It's that the adaptation worked so well, your body never stopped using it. This is what psychologists call a conditioned response, a strategy your nervous system rehearsed so many times in an unsafe environment that it stopped needing conscious thought to activate. It just runs, the same way flinching runs, before you've had a chance to choose anything at all. Maybe it was a specific dinner table, a specific tone of voice that meant it was safer to go quiet than to explain yourself. You learned fast that silence de-escalated things in a way that words never did. You're not 8 years old at that table anymore, but some part of your nervous system still runs that same calculation before you've even decided to speak. What started as self-protection didn't disappear when you grew up. It became a strategy so refined, most people around you now read it as composure, not survival. You didn't inherit weakness. You inherited a tool, and you sharpened it without ever realizing. The final trait is different from all the others. Trait 6. The people who use silence as control are usually the loudest thinkers in the room. While everyone else is talking, you're running the entire conversation twice, once out loud in front of them, and once in the version only you can hear. Here's the part that surprises people most. The quieter version is almost always the smarter one. Someone finishes making their point, certain they've won, while you've already run through 3 counterarguments in your head and decided none of them are worth saying out loud right now. That gap between what you're processing and what you're actually showing isn't detachment. It's the most active form of control in the room, and almost nobody clocks it because it makes no sound at all. You were never the quiet one who couldn't keep up. You were the one running the whole conversation in a language no one else could hear. Every person who ever mistook your silence for surrender was reading the wrong signal. They were looking for the version of control that's loud, that argues back, that needs to win out loud to prove it won it all. Yours was never going to look like that. Yours was quieter and harder to shake because it never depended on anyone else agreeing with it. You were never powerless in that silence. You were built differently, wired to hold your ground without needing the room to hear you do it. Which trait hit closest to home? Drop a number in the comments.